Welcome to the OT, presented by Ford.
Stefon Diggs and the Buffalo Bills roll past the Dallas Cowboys as we welcome you to the OT presented by Ford. We will continue to talk about that game with a little bit more in just a bit, but we want to catch you up as to what else has happened here in Week 15 so far.
All right, baby, the best team in football. This is definitely my MVP guy, Christian McCaffrey. 4 touchdowns on the day. Purdy looking, rolls left, finds McCaffrey wide open, falls down, gets up, 41-yard touchdown. 3 touchdowns on the day for McCaffrey, 28-13. Then Purdy throws it to Deebo Samuel. Set up, look at this catch. Come back, underthrown ball, perfectly thrown pass. Samuels with 2 touchdowns. Final, 49ers 45, Arizona Cardinals 29. Watching the Commanders at the Los Angeles Rams. Matthew Stafford having a great year. He finds Cooper Kupp wide open. Howie, I told you how many times. It's sometimes the hardest passes to complete are when the guy is so wide open.
And catches.
Yeah, I know. You're right. 63-yard touchdown. 28-20 Rams over the Washington Commanders. Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs at the New England Patriots. He's looking for Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Rolling left. Nice job. Helaire was actually going to the right. Saw his quarterback scramble, came back. Taylor Swift says, nice job. Way to go, my team. Chiefs 27, New England Patriots 17. Bears at the Browns. Joe Flacco and Amari Cooper set up. Looking down the field. Firing it right between the corner and the safety and the linebacker. 51-yard touchdown reception for Amari Cooper. Now, with 5 seconds left in the game, it is Justin Fields. This Hail Mary. Game is 20-17 in favor of Cleveland. All right, Darnell Mooney almost comes down with it. DeAnthony Bell, though, picks it up. That could have been the game winner, but it wasn't. 2017, Cleveland on top of Chicago. Giants at the Saints. Tommy DeVito, everything comes tumbling down in one game. Sacked 7 times on the day. Nice job here by Derek Carr. Play action at the goal line to touchdown to Jimmy Graham. A 1-yard strike. Saints win 24-6 over the New York Giants. Falcons at the Panthers. Desmond Ridder, second-year quarterback out of the University of Cincinnati, moving left. Picked off by Xavier Woods. I don't know why he threw that, but he's a second-year guy. Stuff happens. 1 second left. Eddie Piñeiro's 23-yard field goal is good. Carolina 9. Atlanta 7. Congratulations, Carolina. Buccaneers at the Packers. Baker Mayfield. 4 touchdown passes on the day. Looking for Mike Evans. Great job. Good read by Evans. You saw the safety in the middle. It's a post route, but he straightened it up, made it a skinny post. Howie, nice job of 19 yards. Touchdown. 34-20 Tampa Bay on top of Green Bay. 4 touchdowns, as I said, for Baker Mayfield. That's Tyreek Hill. Great wide receiver for Miami out of this football game with an ankle injury. Look right, hold the safety, then a takeoff route to Jalen Waddle, a 60-yard score, 17-0. Dolphins owner Stephen Ross. At least he's trying. What the heck? 30-0. I don't know what to call that. Do you, Kurt?
Right. It's the Waddle. That's what it is.
All right. Case Keenum, quarterback out of the University of Houston. Back to Houston. He finds Noah Brown, 3-yard touchdown. Nice job by Brown coming back in some game. Heads into overtime. 2 seconds left in overtime.
Kaimi Fairburn, 54 yards.
And
that's the game winner, 19-16. Houston knocks off Tennessee. All right, guys, our FedEx Air and Ground players of the day. Baker Mayfield, 4 touchdown passes, no interceptions, 381 yards, completing 79% of his passes, all season highs as he gets the Bucs to 7-7. And then, of course, most of you just saw James Cook. What a day. 179 yards on the ground. His 5th straight game of 100-plus scrimmage yards. 221 total. That earns him the FedEx Ground Player of the Day. So let's get you caught up to the minute in the playoff standings. And right now in the AFC, things look pretty much the same as they did earlier, except Buffalo is climbing back into the hunt. Over in the NFC, maybe a little bit of a surprise. With the win today, the San Francisco 49ers clinched the NFC West. The Eagles now move back into the top spot in the East because of Dallas's loss. And guys, let's talk about that West a little bit, because look at the Rams. They're right there. We'll get to them in a minute. I'll start with you, Howie. This 49er team, they win again today. They won 6 in a row by an average of 18 points in every game. They seem almost unstoppable.
Yeah, and depending on how things play out, I mean, it could impact the Rams down the road. The Rams have them in the last game of the season. Right now, the Rams are in, but San Francisco right now looks like the best team in football, obviously. Depending on we don't know what Philly's going to do in the next few weeks, coming off that huge 2 weeks in a row now. So I think depending on what that game brings at the end of the year, that game versus the Rams at the end of the year might not mean anything for the San Francisco 49ers. Right now, they're the best team in football. The only thing that's derailed them in the past is health. That's it. If they stay healthy, they're the best team in football.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't think there's anybody that can match them skill player for skill player offensively. And I think defensively, you watch a guy like Fred Warner, when you have Bosa, when you have all these guys who can impact the game on their own, it's going to be tough for anybody to match the 49ers. And their team, you know, went on the road, went at home, wherever it may be. They may be at home the entire playoff. And that is the thing, the consistency of these teams has been the issue this season, because every week we get here, we go, this is the team and that's the team. Then they do something that makes you go, what was I thinking? Well, we were all thinking.
That's what I'm saying right now about Dallas. What was I thinking?
Yeah, it's almost like a mental lapse and a lack of focus. Or they get there and they just expect it to happen because everyone's saying we're great instead of putting the effort to show that you deserve to get that recognition. And I think that's happened to so many teams in the course of this season.
Gronk, I want to ask you about the Rams right now, because we talk about Buffalo being a team nobody wants to play if they get into the playoffs. The Rams have won 4 of their last 5, and that only loss was last week in overtime at Baltimore.
Yes, the Rams, they started off slow at the beginning of the year, but that's because they have a lot of young guys, and they were trying to gel together. Now with Matthew Stafford leading the helm, they put it together with Puka. They got Cooper Kupp back. They're putting up points week in and week out, and now that defense has come together with Aaron Donald leading the way as well. Like we said, they have about 7 guys that are just starting for the first time in the NFL this year. So the defense coming together, Coach McVay leading them, putting them together, making sure they play well as a team, and they are coming with some fire. That's for sure.
One of the unsung heroes, though, Kyren Williams.
No question. That's just what I was about to say.
Yeah, go ahead.
They got their running back. No, that's fine. They got their running back. Everything about the Rams is going in the right direction. One of the things we all say, well, look at this team, and this team was good, and this team is not so good, and we've been doing this all year long.
Yeah, that's their formula, though.
This time of year, it's the teams that are mentally strong and focused and can handle on the road as well as at home. And right now, I would have to say that team would be the 49ers. They have not let me down all year long. They are one mentally tough football team, and that's what you have to
But getting back to the Rams, I mean, you look at the formula that took them to a couple of Super Bowls.
Yep.
It's the run game, and it's a staple of the Sean McVay offense, and I think you make a great point, Michael. I think everything starts with that. The run game goes Kyren Williams. That run game has been a surprise. I think the Rams have been a surprise, and right now, looking at their schedule, depending on what that last game of the year is versus San Francisco, they got a shot at running the table.
You're talking about a team that ran the ball well today, the Buffalo Bills. If I told you Josh Allen would have 94 yards passing and they would still win big, you'd say no chance. James Cook was a big part of that. We'll hear from the winning quarterback, Mr. Allen, with Aaron Andrews on the other side as we talk about Buffalo's big win and the Cowboys' big loss. The next Sunday, unwrap a gift of football and fun. We've got a fantastic 2-hour Christmas Eve pregame show on Fox. We'll come to you from our Winter Wonderland set here in Los Angeles. And this year, we'll have a very special musical guest in Colby Calais. She'll bring us all the holiday songs you can want, much more. So come on by and spend your holiday with us, starting 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 Pacific, right here on Christmas Eve. That will lead to our big game that day. The Dallas Cowboys trying to bounce back. They got a week to figure it out before they take on a tough AFC foe in the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah.
That is next week. But right now, they had a real tough one on the road against an AFC East foe in Buffalo. After their big victory, their quarterback, Josh Allen, spoke with Aaron Andrews.
Hey, Josh, you guys told me you felt rejuvenated after beating Kansas City in Kansas City last week. How do you feel after beating Dallas? And they were coming in with a 5-game win streak.
Let James cook. What a game from him. What a game from our O-line. What a game from our defense. We were smart with the ball. Took care of business at home. We just got to take it one game at a time, but we're a confident team right now. We got to keep things going.
James Cook basically had career highs in everything today. Why, first of all, and what did you think about the way he played?
I mean, he ran the ball so hard. Our offensive line gave him holes to run through. Our guys on the perimeter blocked their tails off, and our receivers made plays when they had to. You know, it wasn't a pretty passing game by all means. You talk about the weather, the rain, the wind, but when in doubt, give it to our running backs. Let's go grind out some yards, and our offensive line was up for the task today.
You know what looked pretty, though? Your defense. I mean, you want to give those guys some love against this Dallas offense?
Yeah, that's one of the highest flying offenses in the league, and our defense came out. They played so well. You know, Coach McDermott called a heck of a game, and he had us prepared to go this week. And, again, we're going to celebrate this one tonight, turn our attention to next week. Where are we going? L.A. Chargers next week, next Saturday. So that'll be the only thing on our minds.
All right, appreciate it. We had a time in Buffalo, man. Thanks.
I hope you did. This is a great spot. I hope people can start to realize that.
We had a time. Thanks, Josh.
Go Bills.
Yep.
Ever since the Buffalo Bills changed their offensive coordinator from Glenn Dorsey to Joe Brady, let me tell you, the Buffalo offense has changed. Josh Allen is playing out there like he's a free man. He's running all over the place. That was his 10th game this year that he has a pass TD and a rush TD. And also, what did they get back to? The ground game. The last 5 games, James Cook has been playing off the chain. He had over 150 yards on the ground today.
179.
179, a touchdown. And when they have the ground game going, let me tell you, the Buffalo Bills are scary, and don't sleep on their defense.
I will say 179 is more than 150.
Yes.
Way to get that together, brother.
Thank you, Kurt. Thank you.
But you're right, the rushing game. But more than that, just watching it, the defense was absolutely amazing. Because you see the Cowboys light up everybody. You're like, how are they getting open? How is CeeDee Lamb open in these pockets? How the tight end open? How the running backs running through tackles? The O-line is pushing everybody around. That was negated today. I've never seen the Cowboys line get manhandled like that. I've never seen CeeDee Lamb covered like that. He had no openings. Their tackling was so crisp and precise. And the second the receiver caught the ball, there were no yards after the catch. I literally saw that and go, what are other teams doing when you're watching the Bills do this? So you have to give their defense a lot of credit, and their offense put Dallas in a position where they're playing from behind, on the road, bad weather, you know, and they have the propensity to not to play well on the road. And they put them in that position again to keep that, I guess that, whatever you want to call it, streak of losses against winning teams.
7-9 now in 2 seasons, 7 wins, 9 losses for Dallas, Howie, on the road.
Yeah, you know, this year, 40 points at home, 24 on the road. Today, obviously, didn't hit that. Buffalo is a team that kind of backed themselves in a corner. It's to their own doing. And I think now they've got to kind of chase Miami, and Miami has Dallas next week, a wounded Dallas team, which it'll be interesting to see how Dallas responds to this game going on the road in Baltimore, in Miami rather. And if this game tells you anything, that this is a team that nobody wants to see in the playoffs, the Buffalo Bills. They're so good. Defensively, you talk about the losses they've had earlier in the year. At linebacker, at corner, and their defense had to adjust. Sean McDermott had to, I think, take the defense over, and I think they've done a great job with that. And certainly Josh Allen is, you know, we've talked about him at nauseum. He's a great player. I don't see anybody. Him and Mahomes are 2 guys that you're going to see 6-7 times a game. They're going to do something that nobody else can do. And it's fun to watch. I hope they make it to the playoffs.
You know, you take a look at it, TB, and look at this Dallas Cowboy team. Howie mentioned it. At home, they're invincible. 7-0. They average 40 points a game. Right. On the road in their 7 games, they've got a losing record right now. And next week they play on the road at Miami Dolphins.
Miami is not as physical as Buffalo.
Yeah, that's the difference.
So that's going to be a big difference right there. The difference between Dallas, look, I have questioned. I did not doubt myself one bit when I said on the pregame show they're going to win. I didn't say I think they're going to win. I say they're going to win. Here's why. You take a certain amount of intensity with you when you're playing a good football team. If you're a good football team and you're going on the road to play a good football team, you take that intensity with you. They don't do it. I don't know why. I believe in Dallas. I love their coach. Why don't they take it on the road and get nasty? They don't do it. They sit back and they just look like, come on, just take all you want from me. We'll just go ahead and look stupid. And that's what they did today. They don't match the intensity. And when you're playing great football teams and you believe in yourself, you take a certain amount of intensity with you that you deny them what they're doing. To say that they could come out and rush the football against Dallas's defense, you got to be kidding me. They knew they could. That's why they did it.
That's the thing. And is this defense we talk about, they look great on both sides of the ball. They were dominant over the last couple of weeks. Are they a defense that's built to play from in front? Or are they defense that can play in any down 20, up 20?
In front, they can rush the passer, but they can't stop the run.
No, what I'm saying is if somebody gets up on them, if they get up on somebody, they're a team that they rush the quarterback well, they've got great speed, they force turnovers. And today, you know, Buffalo just said, you know what, this kid Cook he looked like Thurman Thomas. You know, really.
He had gaping lanes, which is unheard of.
And running out, I mean, and the thing is, they were attacking the edges. And when you think about the Cowboys, you think the Cowboys can flow side to side. They have everything that you would want as far as the defense is concerned to stop anything you can throw at them.
But it was this, it wasn't that.
But it was here, and then they cut it up, and they couldn't stop them.
Yeah.
And I think it was just a big surprise. And, you know, what Mike Tyson said, everybody has a plan until you get punched in the face. And it looked like Dallas today got punched in the face a lot harder than they have been. And before, maybe they got punched, and they're like, okay, guys, huddle up. Let's get it together. We know we're better than this team. I think they ran into a team today that intensity, as you said, was higher, and Buffalo is desperate right now.
So, Gronk, what did we learn about the Cowboys today?
Yeah, so what did we learn? Well, you want to know something, Terry? When you're a team and you can't go on the road and win a big game in a hostile environment with weather that isn't on your side, isn't in your favor, it means you're not mentally tough. And the Dallas Cowboys are not a mentally tough football team. That being said, it has been shown last year in the playoffs. It has been shown the year before in the playoffs, and it has been shown this year twice now because they got absolutely blown out versus a good team in San Francisco when they went on the road as well. And now they got absolutely blown apart versus the Buffalo Bills in Buffalo with a crazy atmosphere.
Someone has to take charge.
Yes.
I didn't see it on
they
defense.
Do.
I'm talking about leadership.
They got no flow to the game either. No flow to the game.
They just sat back and said, go ahead.
Here's the thing, though. They responded after that San Francisco game.
After, not during.
But no, but wait. We can't do anything about that game now. So now you got to go to Miami. What's your mentality going to be? You got to go home, lick your wounds, get on the road, and win a game, and potentially, you know, kind of vie for the NFC East.
I'll tell you right now, Miami can run the football really well.
Yeah.
And Miami, of course, has that passing game. If you don't rush a quarterback in Miami, you're going to be in trouble. And Tyreek Hill didn't play today because he's resting up for this Cowboy game next week.
Let me ask you this here. Obviously, the MVP is a year-long, season-long award. But did Dak's performance today take him out of the race?
It did. In my opinion, it did. And he's had an awesome year. Look, I'm not going to jump off the ship just because they got beaten badly today. I said last week on this show, my pick is McCaffrey, the running back for the 49ers. He has absolutely been outstanding week in and week out.
34 TDs, no interceptions, 242 yards. You know, so it's well, you know, it's pick 'em. It's apples, it's oranges, it's whatever.
I mean, McCaffrey's been the most consistent player in the whole entire NFL besides Tyreek Hill as well, but he didn't have he had a so-so game last week. McCaffrey should win the MVP. It shouldn't go to a quarterback. If Dak had the game he had last week and continued it to this week and the week after, like next week and the week after that, then he could have won MVP. But it should go to Christian McCaffrey.
I don't even think Dak. I don't think Dak had to win the game today to win MVP. I think he had to throw for more than a little bit over 100 yards.
94 yards.
And then no touchdowns, and then the interception he threw, the defensive back is falling, and it comes right to his chest because he overthrows the guy so much. Yeah. That is the reason that he shouldn't win him. He may not win it, but it's not because if they lost this game. I think it was just the performance today wasn't as consistent what we expected, and at some point in the season, we all understand. It's sometimes it's like this. The key is your dips can't be that big of a dip. Your dip has to be here instead of here. And then you
So who does
always have to have a certain level of excellence.
So in your opinion now, who, because of Prescott's failures today,
McCaffrey
who
is the best
moves up?
player in the NFL.
And just to clean it up, McCaffrey today, 192 total yards and 3 touchdowns.
He has the touchdowns, but typically when it's a non-quarterback and it's a position player like a running back, Adrian Peterson had over 2,000 yards.
Right.
I mean, McCaffrey has what, 21, 22
But he's been
touchdowns?
so dominant overall in a year that no quarterback has been special.
You could give him the MVP and you wouldn't blink an eye.
Nobody, exactly.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry that Tyreek Hill wasn't healthy last week, because I agree with you, man. It was between the two of them.
Yeah.
I agree.
Well, when we come back, we will hear from the reigning MVP of the National Football League, Patrick Mahomes, after his Chiefs got back to their winning ways, and we'll get inside some of the winning locker rooms, including there in Buffalo, where the celebration continues.
At the end of the day, we can only control what we can control. And that's our attitude, that's our effort, and how we attack each and every day. And I think that, especially after that bye week, I think the bye week was such a good time for us to understand, like, listen, we got to turn it on here. Like, this is our only opportunity that we've got going forward is making the most of our games count. And, that's what this team is excited about. And I think that we're ready to take on any challenge in front of us right now.
And it was part of Josh Allen's interview with Aaron Andrews we had for you on the pregame show. Buffalo has now won 3 of their last 4, and they win back-to-back games for the first time since weeks 3 and 4 earlier in the season. 31-10, they knock off the Dallas Cowboys. A big part of that is running back James Cook, 221 total yards, and an interview with Aaron Andrews.
James Cook looking at my wet notebook asking me if I can read it. I don't have to read it because I basically know watching this game, you were the story of the game. First of all, you had career highs basically in everything today. How you feeling after a game like that?
I mean, it's good, facing a great defense, and, every opportunity that come to my way, you just got to make it count.
With the day you had, what were you able to figure out against Dallas's defense? Why were you able to have the success that you did?
They're a great defense, so, once you get the ball, you can't hesitate. You just got to go.
Yeah, and you didn't go at all. Absolutely. The difference for you as your teammates are screaming for you as they walk by, the last month, you've had a lot of success. Guys telling us your confidence has been up. Why? What's been going on?
Just my preparation. Each and every day I work hard, and it pays off on Sundays.
It certainly has. Go enjoy this with your guys. Appreciate your time.
Appreciate you.
All right, James, thanks.
All right, in his second year out of Georgia, I mean, this kid has really turned it on lately. 5 straight games over 100 yards, 2 touchdowns, and put this team on his back as Buffalo. They're still on the outside looking in technically, but they're coming hard in the AFC playoff race. One team that seems to be a little bit more comfortable than they were at the start of the day, the Kansas City Chiefs. They knocked off New England 27-17 to get back to their winning ways. Patrick Mahomes, after the victory, spoke with our Pam Oliver.
Patrick, you said it. You may not be rolling the way you want to, but you came out of here with a W. Tell me what you appreciated most about the effort and execution.
Yeah, I appreciate the fight. I mean, that's a great defense. That's coached by best coach of all time. Best defensive coach especially. And so for our guys to execute, I thought we did a great job. Obviously, there's stuff we got to clean up, kind of like all season long. But we're going to try to keep getting better and better and keep it rolling in the next week.
You go back to work on Monday. What are some of the things you do want to clean up, and what are some of the things you want to focus on?
Yeah, just little things here and there. But those little things are what kind of biting us all year long. And so if we can clean those things up and play like we do and we're executing at a high level, we'll be a tough team to beat.
You mentioned Bill Belichick. He is somebody that, has vexed you a little bit in your career. To have the win coming out against him and that stellar defense, what does that mean for you?
It means a ton, man. Like I said, man, Belichick, he's gonna be in that separate hall in the Hall of Fame. The coach, the defensive mind, it's special, and it's made me better, honestly. And so to be able to get a win against that defense and put points on the board, I'm glad that we can see that the offense can do that.
Appreciate it, Patrick. Happy holidays.
Yeah, appreciate you. Thank you.
Back to you.
Mahomes and the Chiefs really separated themselves in the second half of this one. And Howie, if you look at their schedule remaining, there's a path for them to still be the #1 seed.
There's a path for them to be 12-5, I believe. They've got Las Vegas, they've got Cincy, they've got at Chargers. With Baltimore and Miami with challenging schedules, Baltimore at Jacksonville, at San Francisco and Miami. For Miami, it's Dallas, it's at Baltimore. So there is a path for them. I think the things that have to get cleaned up, and we can dance around, or they can dance around it. And the bottom line is, it's drop balls in the end zone. A drop ball today that turned into an interception. It's penalties. Get those things cleaned up and get back on track. And somebody step up in that number one wide receiver role and be consistent week to week.
But who would that be? I mean, who would that be?
Rashee Rice, the last couple of weeks, he's a rookie, but he's making headway.
But you got enough vets there that you would hope that, one of these guys would step up. But these drops are still just baffling. At one point, Tony dropped they tipped it, and they catch an interception, and they show Mahomes on the sideline. It looks as if he said, I'm doing everything except for basically handing you the ball.
Yeah.
You have to catch it. If they're going to advance, if they're going to go anywhere this year in the playoffs, you can't have any of that because they're playing some teams that you're not going to be able to come back from by having a few interceptions in a game. And you put so much pressure on your defense when you do that. Defensively, you go out, get a great stop, you come off the field, next thing you know, you're going right back on the field. That's tiring and it's frustrating for a defense and for a team. It's exhausting to keep doing the same thing over and over again to a point where guys look at each other and go, hey, you just got to get better. What is it going to take? What are you doing during the week? And I don't know what these guys are doing to get better, but I know they are. I don't think that Andy Reid's letting these guys go by any way, shape, or imagination of not working to get better. But these are some things that you would expect not to happen this late in the season.
Yeah, the Kansas City Chiefs, they did what they needed to do to win the game versus the Patriots. A well-coached team, that's for sure. And we knew someone else was going to need to step up besides Travis Kelce because Coach Belichick, he doubles the best player on the field every game, and they did that. The other players stepped up. Justin Watson stepped up. Rashee Rice stepped up. Clyde Edwards stepped up, had a touchdown. And that's what they needed to do. It gave a little confidence to those guys. But Kadarius Toney, once again, would have dropped. Perfect pass right through his hands, interceptions. I have a serious question. Do you bench or cut Kadarius Toney? I mean, he's more of a liability on the field. I mean, 2 catches, 5 yards, a drop pass, interception. How many other drop passes?
You want to know the answer to that question?
The New York Giants cut him, and they had way worse receivers at the time as well.
Here's the answer to that question. You played in New England.
Yes.
Your frame of reference is a little bit different.
Yes.
I think with the Giants, with the personality thing, it just didn't work there. I think that this kid is talented. You put the ball in his hands, he's able to make things happen, but he has to catch the ball, and that's a problem.
But he hasn't shown improvement from catching the ball. He's been dropping balls all year.
His numbers, he's under 200 yards in receiving yards this year.
Yeah, listen, you can sugarcoat it all you want, all right? If you're not performing, you don't deserve to be on the field. That's what I'm saying. That's where this game is.
I think you hit the nail on the head in the pregame. I really do. I think, going to what, 2 of the last 3 Super Bowls.
Oh, emotionally exhausted.
Yeah.
Okay, let's play that role. You can play that, and I said it, and I believe it. They win today against a good defense. That's no joke. That's a good defense that they won against today. The problem is, you're right. They don't have – look, I hated that Tyreek Hill is not in Kansas City. I understand there's a lot of reasons why he's gone. But what he's doing in Miami, if he's there, all of a sudden Travis Kelce is getting the ball. I look at the stat sheet. Travis Kelce's not even mentioned.
Yep.
How in the world is that?
That's because he played New England.
All day long.
He played Belichick. Belichick's going to double Travis Kelce the whole entire game and let other guys beat him.
A lot of people are doing that. And you talk about Rashee Rice, and Rashee Rice had a great game today. Can Rashee Rice come back and do that again next week?
Hey, before we bury Kansas City, remember, they won the Super Bowl without Tyreek Hill last year.
That's true.
And right now, we started this conversation off saying there's still a path for them to be the number 1 seed and have home field. And they didn't have a defense like they have right now in the past.
But I will tell you this, though, and first of all, that big old bucket you got up there, remember what he said 7 hours ago? That's impressive, big guy. That was really good. But I also think, when you look
there's a lot there other than structure.
Yes. Strong frame. But I know that we know they won the Super Bowl last year. We know they've done it before. This is an amazing team. But do they look as confident?
Right.
Do they look as if teams are being beat in the same manner as they were when they
What does Jimmy call it? What does Jimmy call it?
Swagger.
Swagger.
Hey, so let me ask you
I
real
know
quick.
you're sitting there at home, Jimmy. You'd be saying, "Where's your swagger?" You don't see it.
In order to get the number 1 seed, they have to run the table pretty much and have Baltimore lose at least twice so they can win the tiebreaker.
Can they go on the road and
Do
win?
you see Baltimore losing twice down the stretch?
No, I don't.
Okay.
No, not at all. Do you?
I see Baltimore maybe once. Yeah.
I don't see it at all.
You
Look,
don't see them
when you
losing.
smell the end zone at this time of year, Michael, Howie, Gronk, you go and take care of business. You don't still try to figure out how to catch a football. You don't figure out how to fix a
At
defense.
San Francisco?
It's done. 49ers.
At San Francisco.
Baltimore plays at San Francisco on Christmas night, but that's 8 days from now. We're going to wrap up here Week 15 on this Sunday action. We continue, including getting inside the locker rooms as we promised, as we continue here on the OT, brought to you by Ford.
Happy holidays.
That's a good reminder. Next Sunday, Tyreek Hill took the day off today. They didn't need him. Miami wins 30-0 over the Jets. He will play, or is expected to play, I should say, next week against the Dallas Cowboys. And keep in mind, we'll have a 2-hour pregame show getting you ready for that one, kicking off at 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific. Colby Calais will be with us, performing a lot of Christmas songs. You can sing with her as well.
I won't be here.
Will you be
I'm
here
so
to sing
sad.
with
You're
her?
just rubbing it in now,
You're
Kurt.
singing.
We'll do it in your honor. How about that? All right, let's get inside some of the winning locker rooms here in Week 15, starting with the mighty Buffalo Bills.
Hey, you prepared your asses off, man, and it showed, right? It showed. What do the old Bills say, right? When it's too tough for them, it's just right for us, right? Just right for us. Great. And then throw a pick. And then throw a pick. All right, one second. Hey, remember, listen to me. Real quick. Stay humble, right? Short week. Got a couple guys banged up in this game. We need everybody, man. Everybody going out west.
Defensively, we stopped the run and we hit the quarterback. Offensively, when y'all got in the red zone, y'all got touchdown. I think y'all was like 3 for 3 when you went down there. 100%. You know what I'm saying? And we got to be locked in this week, block out everything else, get your bodies back right so we can repeat this come Thursday in front of the world so they can know what's going on. Let's go, baby. 1, 2, 3, say.
Here's the deal. You said you were going to win the game. Yes, sir. You won the game. Defense, unbelievable. 2 turnovers. Hey, guys, keep sticking together. All right, I love all of you. I'm proud of you. Family on 3. 1, 2, 3. Family.
Hey, listen, you celebrate every win, man. You don't grade.
Hey.
You don't grade these things. Don't grade them. Right? You just take their W's and their L's, man. That's what they are. Yes, sir. So you take advantage of that. Congratulations. Let me give it just one. How about those? I'm so proud of this team, guys. We're not perfect. All right, we're not perfect. It's tough. It's going to be hard. But this team fights, and that's number 9. It's going to be hard sometimes. You have to fight with each other, but I saw a bunch of guys out there that are like, I will not be denied for my brother, for the guy next to me. I appreciate that. Team on 3. 1, 2, 3.
How about that Joe Flacco? Huh? I'm so proud of him coming off the couch, actually, and going out and throwing 2 touchdown passes and leading the Cleveland Browns to their 5th straight victory at home. Joe Flacco, congratulations.
Maybe it's time to start talking about Kevin Stefanski in the Coach of the Year conversation as well. It's one with 4 different quarterbacks this year. Wow. Speaking of different quarterbacks, could there be a new one in New York? Jay Glazer?
Kurt Benefit had the New York Jets. They're eliminated from playoff contention today. Zach Wilson's out with concussion. And of all weeks, this guy, Aaron Rodgers, is finally going to get medically cleared to come back and play. Look, there's still going to be a discussion with him, the owner, Woody Johnson, who's going to have a huge say whether or not he plays at all this year. That conversation will take place this week. But of all weeks. Now, look, we just saw the Bills. They're trying to get into the playoffs right now. One of the teams who are in right now is the Cincinnati Bengals, with the same record as the Bills. but they're bracing for some bad news. Jamar Chase has a shoulder injury, was supposed to get an MRI today, was very sore, is getting that MRI tomorrow. But again, they're bracing to lose Jamar Chase for some time. Later on, tomorrow night also, one of these teams, the Philadelphia Eagles, we know clinched the playoff spot today. We reported earlier today, they're making a big change with coaches. The defensive staff, Matt Patricia, will now be heading up the defense for the Eagles. And Jalen Hurts, who got sick, he's questionable for tomorrow night, had to take a different flight than everybody else over to Seattle. They do expect him to go, but keep an eye on that.
All right, guys, let's wrap it up with who won the day, starting with you, TB.
I'm going to go with Sean McDermott, Coach Sean McDermott of Buffalo Bills. Outstanding job getting his team ready to play Dallas.
James Cook looked like Thurman Thomas today, 179 on the ground, 1 TD, another 42 in the air.
I'm with Chris McCaffrey, 187 total yards, 1 rushing touchdown, 2 receiving touchdowns. There's nothing he can't do. Hopefully, future MVP.
I'm going with Miami quarterback Tua. He didn't throw a TD pass last week, had a bounce-back win this week, 21 for 24, 224 yards as well, and he did it without Tyreek Hill.
All right, we will see you for the Dolphins and the Cowboys next Sunday. Crapopolis, a brand new episode comes your way next.